Hi everyone. Thank you for joining Parkinson Voice Project for today's online Speak Out Home practice session. My name is Samantha Ellenderry. I'm a speech language pathologist and the founder of Parkinson Voice Project. It is my pleasure to help you regain and retain your speech and your swallowing by helping you to establish and maintain a consistent home practice routine. It's so important that you're doing your exercises every single day. Today's topic that Lisa prepared for us are Speak Out with Sayings. So that's the title. Everybody say that together. Speak Out with Sayings. Let's do it again. Speak out with sayings. What kind of sayings are we talking about? You'll find out in just a little bit. Go ahead and take a sip of water with intent. If you are new to these sessions, welcome. We are glad that you are here. I am sipping on warm water. You don't have to do that. Any kind of water that you like will be fine. I do want to mention that these exercises should never hurt. Your voice should sound clear when you do them. If it doesn't, I want you to be working with a speech language pathologist to help you, okay? All right, let's do the first exercise. This is called the warm-up, and I want you to project your voice forward. Here we go. May, me, my, mo, moo. So we are connecting them. Let's do it again. May, me, my, mo, moo. By connecting, that means that one syllable is running into the next. They're not separated. So it should not be may, me. It shouldn't be like that. Let's connect them. May, me, my, mo, moo. Again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Very nice. We are done with the Speak Out warm-up. Go ahead and take a sip of water. I want to encourage all of you to make sure you practice this Friday. On Friday, we are going to be featuring one of our Speak Out Therapy and Research Centers, Brett Myers, who is leading that center at the University of Utah, will be conducting the online practice session. Brett, yes, he's a guy. We do not have too many men in this field, but did you know that Dr. Boone, Dr. Daniel R. Boone, who is the one who first recognized intent for people with Parkinson's in the late 1950s, when he was a speech language pathologist, the profession was mostly men. Isn't that interesting? So now it is a high percentage of women, but Brett Myers will be here on Friday, and I know you'll enjoy that session. Let's go ahead and move on to Speak Out exercise number 2, the ahs. Open your mouth wide and project that ah forward. Here we go. Ah. We hold it for just about 10 seconds. No need to try to hold it as long as you can. Let's do it again. Make sure your mouth is open wide. Sometimes with Parkinson's, you feel like you're opening your mouth real wide, but it's not really opening like that. Have you ever taken a selfie or a picture and you felt like you smiled, but then when you looked at the picture, maybe it looked like you were angry? With Parkinson's, you need to exaggerate your movements. So when you open your mouth, really feel that it is open real wide. Let's do another ah. Ah. Good. Start strong and end strong. Let's do a 5-second one. Good. One more, a short one. Very good. Let's all take a sip of water with intent. Grab your cup with intent and then swallow with intent, which means that you're thinking about everything that you're doing. When you are intentional and purposeful and mindful, you are activating a part of the brain that is not as dependent on dopamine, and that's why it works. Let's do the next exercise, the glides. Project an ah forward first, a steady ah first, and then slowly glide up. Here we go. Ah. Ah. Good. Get as many little notes in there as you can. If you notice you're going from this pitch to that one, make sure you get all the notes in between. Ready? Ah. Ah. Very nice. Let's do it again. Ah. Ah. Don't trail off at the end. Let's get a sip of water. I know I need one. Don't trail off at the end. As I am going down in pitch, I am having to purposefully keep my head up straight, keep that mouth open. I'm thinking about it. I want you to do the same. Start high and glide down. Ready? Ah. Again, start high. Ah. Notice that the quality of my voice is clear. Your voice should always be clear when you're doing these exercises, and it should never hurt. Please make sure you are working with a speak out provider, so you're doing both. One-on-one therapy with a speech pathologist that's been trained in speak out, so one-on-one therapy, and daily home practice, okay? That combination is what's going to help you the most. Let's go ahead and move on to the counting. We're going to do this, connect the numbers, so we don't want to do 1, 2. We're not going to do that. We're going to connect them. We're lifting our voice and speaking out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's go ahead and take a sip of water. All right, we're going to count to 16 again. We're going to stop every 4 numbers. I'm not going to hold up the sheet. I'm going to just use my hands. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're being deliberate. Let's go backwards. Start with 16 with intent. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, go ahead and take a sip of water if you need one. I'm going to take one. So for our reading exercise, we are going to look at sayings like this one. I want you to say, once in a blue moon. Let's say it together. Once in a blue moon. Say it again. Once in a blue moon. So as you are speaking with Parkinson's, every word is going forward. Let's say the phrase one more time. Once in a blue moon. Ready? Once in a blue moon. Read this one and exaggerate the highlighted word. Burning the candle at both ends. Again. Burning the candle at both ends. Next, his eyes are bigger than his stomach. Again, his eyes are bigger than his stomach. Let me go back to this one. With intent, with your very, very best voice, I want you to explain what that means or give me an example when you might use burning the candle at both ends. Go ahead. Every word with intent. Okay. How about his eyes are bigger than his stomach? Go ahead and explain that or give an example of something. Use intent. Let's read the next one together. Ready? Honesty is the best policy. Again, honesty is the best policy. Answer these questions. Do you agree with that? Imagine that you are talking to a teenager trying to explain why honesty is the best policy. Go ahead and explain that to a teenager, okay? Pretend you're explaining it, but use your very best voice. Go ahead. This is a great way to practice speaking with intent in conversation because that's why we're doing this, right? We want to be heard and understood. Actually, let me say this real quick. We don't just want to be heard and understood. You don't just want to be heard and understood. You want to have a great sounding voice. You want to sound good. And there is a difference between being heard and understood and sounding really good. So for example, if I were to talk to you like this, and I were to conduct the session like this, how would you like that? Could you hear me when I was talking? I bet most of you could. Would you want to do your exercises with me every day if I were to talk like this all the time? No, you would not. You would sign off right away. So as you're going through speech therapy, when you're working with one-on-one with your speech pathologist, I don't want you to just say, I want to be heard. No, I want to sound great. I want to have an amazing voice. What do I need to do to have that great voice? All right, next one. Let's read this with intent. Take it with a grain of salt. Again, Take it with a grain of salt. Next, throw caution to the wind. Again, throw caution to the wind. Go ahead and take a sip of water. We're going to read this together, and you fill in the blank at the end and use your best voice. Ready? The pot calling the kettle. Again. The pot calling the kettle. Good. Every word with intent. Ready? Once in a blue. Again, don't trail off. Once in a blue. Next, practice what you, again, practice what you, ready? Strike a happy, again, strike a happy, medium. And one more, ready? Too good to be, again with intent. Too good to be. Very good. We're going to go ahead and do Dr. Boone's words. These were given to Parkinson Voice Project by Dr. Daniel R. Boone, a world-renowned speech-language pathologist and voice expert. He is the one who first recognized in the late 1950s that intent could help people with Parkinson's. Isn't that amazing? It's actually sad, right? He recognized it in the late 1950s. Parkinson Voice Project brought it to life in 2010 with the development of Speak Out. Let's say each nonsense words. These are to help the back of the tongue move a little bit more. Ready? Gu, la, gun, ga, ga. Again. Gu, la, gun, ga, ga. Next one. Ku, ka, man, gu, ka. Again. Ku, ka, man, gu, ka. Ready? Gangla. Gangla. And the last one. Kukla. Kukla. Take a sip of water. I want to mention that in our clinic at Parkinson Voice Project, every Wednesday, we have singing group at 10 o'clock, and the care partners are meeting in the other room at the same time. So if you are being treated by Parkinson Voice Project, why aren't you showing up on Wednesdays? We want to see you in person. So go ahead and show up and bring your family member with you. They can participate in the care partner group. And if you're in the area, maybe you aren't being treated by Parkinson Voice Project, but you'd like to come visit and see what it's like, come on over. Come take a tour. For everybody else, singing group is on Thursday online. Okay, we're moving on to our bonus reading. This is interesting. Lisa finds so many interesting things. So the origin of by and large. We're reading this. This is much more difficult than those sentences you were reading. We're going to read all the way through without stopping. If you get behind, you can always catch up at the next highlighted word. Let's speak out like we're making a big announcement while we read these so we can exercise our muscles. Ready? Many everyday phrases are nautical in origin. Taken aback, loose cannon, and high and dry all originated at sea. But perhaps the most surprising example is the common saying by and large. As far back as the 16th century, the word large was used to mean that a ship was sailing with the wind at its back. Meanwhile, the much less desirable by or full and by meant the vessel was traveling into the wind. Thus, for mariners, by and large referred to trawling the seas in any and all directions relative to the wind. That really is challenging. You can download today's reading material and practice. Take what you learned during this session, practice more on your own. And remember, this Friday, Brett Myers from the University of Utah will be conducting the online session. We're going to be featuring our Speak Out Therapy and Research Centers on several Fridays. So this will be a lot of fun, and it'll be great for you to get to practice with someone new too. Have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.